Have you ever thought to yourself, my neighborhood's all right, but chewy, I wish I could live with only whites. I haven't, but apparently some people have. And they're trying to make that happen. Very strange. But I'm sure it has nothing to do with racism. Brittany Page, you're going to explain this one to me. I know fun. I know very little about it, so I'm excited to learn. But the headline of this Sky News story is Inside Return to the Land, the group making a whites-only community in Arkansas. Sounds fun. We only eat bread, just white bread here.
I thought you were going to keep the accent going the whole time, and I was really excited for that. I don't know if you can do it. It would change about 12 times if I tried to do that. It's never the same. Yeah. So this is going to be disturbing. We'll just start there. And on the full Sky News investigative report, they have like a warning that you're going to hear terrible things. And when you're talking to Nazis, naturally that happens. So this is a movement called Return to the Land, and the founders call their roughly 160-acre compound in rural Arkansas in an intentional community based around shared ancestry. That's the language that they use when they're trying to promote it. But when they are actually posting on a social media site like Elon Musk's website, they will say, we started a whites-only community. So it kind of varies how comfortable they are talking about their actual goals and intentions here. But I think we know what the goals and intentions are. The co-founders are Eric Orwell, who you will see in a moment playing an instrument, and another gentleman named Peter, and there was some concern over how to pronounce this last name because I couldn't quite figure it out. There's not a lot of public interviews with this individual, so it's Peter Csere.
Okay.
So I don't know what we want to do with that.
Share. No, that doesn't make sense. What'd you say? Cherry? Cheery was what he was pronounced in some interview?
Cheery. That doesn't seem right, does it?
Okay. Well, yeah. It's the blue shirt guy?
That is him. That's Peter right there. Yeah.
Right.
So they're trying to call this a private membership organization, essentially likening it to like a country club where you have to pay a membership fee.
Looks like and that's quite how the country club with those chickens.
I know, right? It looks very relaxing and also surrounded by all these people. So they accept you based on your ancestry and ethnic background. So they are trying to get around the legal violations that would be involved in creating a whites-only community, and we'll get to that in a moment. But basically, the reporting here shows like 40 people living on the compound, hundreds more trying to apply. They claim that people from all around the world are trying to apply. This first clip, like I said, we're going to hear from the co-founder, Peter Cheery. And this starts with the reporter there who has the bald head. He's asking him about messages that he sent in a group chat on Telegram, where Peter, in the blue shirt there, used the phrase 1488. He put 1488. And if you're not familiar with the white power movement, you may not know what that means. And congratulations if that's you. But if you don't know, 14 is 14 words. It's the 14-word slogan that white supremacists use. That is, we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. The 88, H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 means HH, Hail Hitler. So the reporter here is asking him, why did you put 1488 in this group chat? What's going on with the comments that you've made about the Holocaust? Do you believe the Holocaust is bad? And that's kind of where this clip begins.
Okay. Let's see, Mr. Cheery.
The Telegram, for instance. What does that mean when you place that in Telegram 1488?
Well, I use it as kind of like a funny comment throwback.
As part of that Nazi discussion, another frequent topic on the online chat is the...
I'm sorry, I shouldn't cut it off that quick. A funny throwback? What's his first name?
Peter.
Peter. Mm-hmm. It is one thing. It is one thing to be posting Hitler stuff. It's another thing, and this is honestly like a prerequisite for the type of people who post that type of stuff, to be so utterly terrible at defending themselves when confronted. It's so strange. He's like, well, I just think, because of, like in terms of silly humor, I was doing stuff.
Yeah. Just admit it. Just admit it.
Yeah, admit it.
just lean into it. It's who you are.
Well, I use it as kind of like a funny comment, throwback.
As part of that Nazi discussion, another frequent topic on the online chat is the Holocaust. Usually minimized, sometimes even mocked.
But the Holocaust, stands as a unique crime in the history of
Well, that's your
humanity,
opinion.
really.
I think the Holodomor was much worse than the Holocaust. That's my opinion. I mean, we're allowed to have opinions.
Yeah, we can say they're both bad. The Holocaust was bad.
But do you know anything about the Holodomor?
Yeah, in Ukraine,
Right.
the famine, I know a little bit about it, and I know it was awful too, and
Right,
it was sort of
right.
deliberate, but we can also agree the Holocaust is bad.
Well, we don't have to say that one was objectively worse than the other.
I'm not saying
but-
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, was the Holocaust a bad thing?
So basically all I'm saying is that I don't really see it as concerning that people are talking about Hitler when it's acceptable, it's publicly, socially acceptable in the United States for leftists to support German Mao.
It's quite difficult to agree on even the very bare minimum here.
It's just interesting, sort of, when we're coming to talking about the Holocaust, it's always about something else. And, I think most people would agree the Holocaust was a bad thing.
Right.
But you're not willing to agree with that.
What, do you want to talk about the whole... I mean, it
fine.
seems like an interesting subject, but...
It is an interesting subject, but I also think that was a bad thing, but I think the Holocaust was a bad thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, are you
But-
asking me a
well, no,
question?
yeah, I'm asking you, do you think the Holocaust was bad?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Holocaust was bad.
Hey, look, we got there.
How remarkable is that?
Why did they play a video of him kicking a soccer ball?
I know it transitions into like a little too light of content immediately.
And they
like
have great grass maintenance.
So one thing that I haven't talked about on your show, Luke, but that and that we've talked a little bit about off the show, is that I was actually raised in the white power movement. And so when I watch this, it is very much a reminder of what my childhood was like, because in my house, there was an understanding that there was some semblance that what we believed and what we were taught and what we learned about in the house wasn't what other people believed, wasn't what other people were taught, wasn't what other people were learning about. And that, in fact, what we believed wasn't exactly socially acceptable. And so on some level, it needed to be kind of hidden away in a lot of cases. And there's something implicit in that, where these people must admit that there's a problem there, right? If you can't be open about what your beliefs are, if you can't just be upfront about it, then there's a problem happening there. And for this guy, in his private little group chat, he's using racist language, he's dismissing the Holocaust, but then when he's forced to stand there with a camera on his face, he turns into a coward, and he can't stand by the things that he's saying in his private group chat, and he's hemming and hawing, and he won't just come out and say what he actually believes about the Holocaust, which is probably that it's good, or that it didn't happen. I didn't believe the Holocaust happened until I was in 10th grade. So a lot of times in these places, people are prevented from learning realities of the world. I don't know what he's been taught or what information he has access to, but he obviously has certain beliefs that he knows he shouldn't be sharing. And to me, when I watch that clip, that's the biggest red flag for me, is that there's an awareness that what he believes is bad or shouldn't be spoken about in plain terms because it's not good.
Wow. Yeah, it is crazy how you have unique insight on it. Just a question, if you want to answer. What happens in those dialogues? Because, like, for example, if my parents are expressing their political views to me back when I'm growing up, and then I'm expressing mine, it's all sort of like, sure, you could say that. They're saying their stuff. They say their stuff to other people. I say my stuff to other people. And then it's kind of all out public. But to your point, it's so fascinating how people with these particularly sinister ideologies it's not like they're walking around going, what? This is totally reasonable. They acknowledge that they'll be seen as crazy, 'cause they are, if they express it publicly. So when you first started going, I think I'm being isolated from the truth, what is the reaction in communities like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, I had already been kind of disconnected from the larger community, but within my own family, it was really just my mom at that point. And she didn't hold as strong beliefs. Like, she was just kind of what I would say is like your Uncle Gary's level of racism at that point. Like the racism that people are kind of
Gary
white
out
people.
Of this.
I know the racism that white people are accustomed to, like, going home and dealing with at the holidays. That was kind of the level of racism that it had become. It started out, you know, going to Aryan nations and being present for the cross lightings and very intense, active white power engagement. And then it kind of dropped down to just like your everyday American racism. So I would say it was probably different in my case, different from the other reactions that you might get. But, you know, they do talk about it in nebulous, almost like trying to make it socially acceptable terms. Mm-hmm. And throughout this 30-minute video, you saw that with all these people that have been attracted to this community, which, by the way, they say that law enforcement officers, federal agents are living on this compound. So there's cops here, there's federal agents here who didn't want to be interviewed, didn't want to be seen on camera. That's a scary element of this too. How many of those types are involved in this kind of work? But the people who were interviewed would talk about they want to preserve culture. They want to preserve white American culture. They called themselves far right. They don't believe that they're extremists. They just believe that they're far right. Look at how many people are far right out in the political environment that we see who are talking about preserving culture, preserving white American culture. So they're using the terms that other people that you see like on TV, like Stephen Miller uses. There was one individual who was interviewed at this compound that said that he had a problem with America because we've turned into a melting pot. And to him, he doesn't want to see America turn into a melting pot. So again, themes of immigration that we're seeing from the Republican Party. So for me, watching this video, it was interesting to see how much overlap we have with this community that a lot of people would see as extremists and the Republican Party that's running the show right now and implementing policies right now. So for me, that was one thing that certainly stood out.
Yeah. I'm so curious where they draw the line philosophically, because they'll say that, like, we just need to stop the melting pot thing. It's like, but that's where'd you come from? What are you talking about? Like, you at some point you got here, or at least your ancestors. Also, that one of the guys is having so much sex with so many people. Them all living in a community, out isolated on it. When he said when you said his 140 acre compound, and one of the guys is having so much sex with so many people and does not give. Maybe he also is racist, but this feels very culty. It's like, don't you remember when America was in a melting pot? Come let me melt your pot. You know what I mean? Like, it connects.
Well, you're actually onto something.
I'm gonna put
because
the D into DEI. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something there for sure.
There is something there because they actually offer incentives for people who are willing to come to the compound and have children, financial incentives. And so this is actually one of their...
Peter? Did you see him? He was not the most charismatic.
I don't know if it's specifically Peter. I think it's just, anyone who will come and expand the population of white people that is living on the compound. They're willing to incentivize
give you an extra
that.
loaf of bread if you'll reproduce with Peter.
There was also an interesting part of this, though, where the other co-founder, and his name is Eric Orwell, and they forced this poor reporter from Sky News to sit for a concert. They forced him to sit down and they played music for him. And it was not good music. It's not like they sat down a radio and started playing like Earth, Wind and Fire or the Commodores. They sat down with like a keyboard and they made some poor lady sing, and you can tell that she doesn't want to be there or be doing that. And Eric Orwell is a flute player, and he played the flute for everyone. And it was a disturbing moment.
Okay, let's watch. This is gonna be good.
Stage.
This is a Baroque flute, also known as the German flute or the penny whistle. It was a very popular instrument in colonial America.
It's not easy to look tough with a flute, even if it's German. But the audience is rapt.
Would America be better as a white nation state?
Better in what sense?
Would you prefer, completely blank slate, America is just an ethnically white.
Wait, where's the song? I want the song.
That was the only part of the flute that you got. That's all. That's the part.
Where's the
But
lady singing?
Before that, just before the
Oh,
flute
here.
part.
I want to see this
Yeah.
so bad. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear the whole define better. Shut up. I know what you say in private. Shut up.
Exactly.
We've
exactly.
turned into a melting pot of a country for a long time now.
There is one last thing before I go. A concert put on in honor of our visit.
This first piece that Peter and I are performing, it's called The Virginia Colonies by Fred Cooper. The English governor returned to take his place.
Eric himself takes the stage.
This is
I have to say this. Her voice was fine, but let me just say, this is what happens when you strip out all of the culture and melting pot of America. This is what you get.
Yeah, you
Her voice
could
was
not
fine,
be more right. You
but-
could not be more right about that, honestly. They could really, really benefit from some outside influence in that regard, certainly. Yeah, but like I said, they're trying to say that, it's just like a membership club. They're trying to get around accusations that they're building a racist housing development. And the reason that they're doing that is because you can't do that. The Fair Housing Act that was enacted in 1968 prohibits you from doing that. And so they're trying to raise money for legal services. They're trying to raise money for legal defense. And because of this Sky News reporting, the reporter there actually reached out to the Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin, who said, quote, "This is the first I'm hearing of these allegations. Racial discrimination has no place in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society. These allegations raise all sorts of legal issues, including constitutional concerns. My office is reviewing the matter." So because of this reporting, there's actually meaningful action, hopefully being taken on investigating what is a racist housing development. Unfortunately, this organization, Return to the Land, claims that there's hundreds of people who are interested in this, that this is spreading beyond Arkansas, that there are people in other states that are interested in setting up their own whites-only communities. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, it's just happening in the woods in Arkansas, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. And it's unfortunate that the Trump administration has also put racists into place that amplify a lot of this rhetoric that makes these people excited. And there is a graph that I want to show too from the armed conflict location and event data. And this gives the top states with the highest levels of white nationalist groups activity. And some people might be surprised by this. California is at the top, then you have Texas, then you have Ohio. Ohio has recently been in the news generating headlines because Nazis will take to the streets over overpasses and hold up swastika flags. So these groups feel really emboldened right now. And I think that that's really a scary takeaway from this reporting.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Brittany, even with a topic like this, I still enjoy my time if it's with you. Reminder to everyone to support her by searching up her channel. It's linked below as well, but Brittany Page, if you search that, you'll find it. And Brittany, have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Luke. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you and Jaden and Cole.
And if I ever start...
Cole.
Yeah. Never mind. My joke was going to be totally ridiculous.